Right, so I like to say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKadash, the double honest the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work and truth and sincerity, So going back to what I left off in the last video, like the scripture said, Matthews 24:8, all these are the beginnings of sorrows. So the Lord is going to be bringing a lot of sorrow to the world. It's not, the Lord said, I am for peace, but when I speak, it is for war. Oh man, that hit hard, and going back to what I said recently is that you people really don't know what it means to suffer. You don't. You really don't know what it means to suffer. You might have lost a child in your life. You might have lost a family member in your life or a friend, right? And then, over time you got over it and you moved on. But that is about to happen on a much wider scale. Where someone or somebody you love is going to be taken from you. This world is spiraling down the drain. It's spiraling down the drain. When this economy crash, people can't get jobs. You losing your rent, your apartment that you're renting out, or the house that you're renting out, and you need to buy a damn couple survival bags and tents for your family to sleep out in the streets, because that's happening to a lot of families right now, is that they're sleeping out in the streets in tents. And when you're put in a situation like that, you bring yourself to doing things that you wouldn't have done before. You go to stores, you start stealing, right? Or you try to rob a store, you try to rob somebody walking out in the street. But a lot of instances like that are going to take place, because when people go into panic mode, at that point, panic mode turns into that survival mode. That survival mode turns into, I don't really give a shit. That's what that turns into. Matter of fact, let's grab that in the book of Second Ezra, the 16th chapter. Let's get that, because that's written in the scriptures, man. Hey, the scriptures talk about friends coming up against friends, right? Your BFF is gonna turn out to be your damn enemy before you know it, because when you're trying to survive, you're not thinking about people outside of your family. So if you got kids, you got a wife, and or anything like that, all you thinking about is keeping them alive. You're not thinking about keeping your neighbors alive. You don't give a shit about your neighbors, man. You people don't even talk to your neighbor. You probably don't even know your neighbor. Your neighbor could be a straight up killer. You wouldn't even know. But yeah, let me grab this, man. Second Ezra chapter 15 verse 14. It says, woe means destruction. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And the sword could represent many things. The sword could represent the Esau Edom. It could represent the storms that's taking place, the different storms. It could represent famine. The sword represents many things, man. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Hey, look at that, man. It says the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. So the Lord is not about to bring peace to the world, man. Peace comes after war. That's when peace is going to come. The Lord is going to bring about war upon the earth. There's going to be a lot of suffering. And then the Lord is going to bring peace on the earth by way of Jacob, man. Which is the Israelites. It says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. Yo, hey, hey, when you look at these niggas already, man, these niggas don't got jobs and they don't have money. What do? They go invade. They go invade somebody's house like a damn country. Hey, this is what happens, man. People get desperate. A lot of these jakes are locked up because they woman told them to go do something. And what them dudes go do, they go rob a store and become unsuccessful, right? Or they'll try to rob somebody walking in the street and find out that dude don't got no much more than you do. you know what I'm saying? So hey man, things are gonna get real wild out here, man. So it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. That don't sound like the Lord is about to bring a lot of peace to the world. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power, because these people, they're going to come up against their government. They're going to come up against their governors, their mayors. They're going to come up against these so-called leaders in their community. These people are going to rise up against them, because these people are going to start seeing that a lot of shit that they was telling them were a bunch of damn lies, man. And now they're gonna, like, what's, like, for an example, these pastors, like when these people are that's going to these Sunday churches and whatnot, and they're giving out 50 to $100 in a bowl, but then your ass lose your job and you go ask the pastor for some money and he doesn't give it to you, then you're gonna start seeing the truth. A lot of you are gonna start seeing the truth. A lot of the Lord is gonna start opening the eyes slightly for a lot of you people to see the deceptiveness within these churches and these so-called leaders that you have, right? So again, it says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. It says, and spoil their goods, and because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. And this is why people are going to heavily come up against each other. Your friend is going to fight up against your friend, your mother against her brother, your mother against her son. A lot of these things are going to take place. People are going to become enemies, man. Second Ezra 15 and 20. Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, and from the east, and from Libanus, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them, to the Israelites, like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, which are the Israelites. Isaiah 44 and 1. So will I do also, and recompense in their bosom, thus saith Yahweh power. It says, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not seize over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire is gone forth from his wrath, and have consumed the foundations of the earth. And the sinners like the straw that is kindled. The scripture says, uh, have not, to roughly paraphrase it, have not the fire been kindled already? Right? So it says, 2 Ezra 15:23, the fire is gone forth from his wrath, and have consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Woe again means destruction to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So the Lord is about to bring great judgment to the world. The Lord is bringing great judgment to the world. So going back into Matthew 24:9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. It says, and many false prophets shall rise and deceive many, and because of the iniquity shall abode, the love of many shall wax cold. You got dudes pulling up on the side of the street, just shooting you, man, over some road rage shit. Over it, Hey, you know, you could just be pulling up in a lane. He's in the lane you want to pull up in, and then all of a sudden he see your signal light on, and he speeds up, and then get mad at you because he claims that you was in the way, pulls out a gun and shoot your ass. The love of many shall wax cold. You know, people and their children. These people are killing their own kids, man. You know, and then and planning it like the lady and her 16-year old who planned to kill her kids, the rest of her kids. Love of many shall wax cold. But I'm gonna end it from there and say Barak Hawa, Barak Hawa Shah, Barak Hawa, Barak Hawa Shah, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom.